There are moments when the world sees royalty as symbols, titles, and tradition. But behind palace walls, they are also a family, one shaped by love, disappointment, loyalty, and wounds that time does not always heal. And sometimes the greatest pressure is not public duty. It is carrying private pain while the world watches. Recent reports suggest that as Prince Harry is expected to return to the United Kingdom in the coming months, Princess Kate's focus has turned toward something far more personal than headlines or appearances. Her concern, according to those reports, is Prince William's emotional well-being, because when old tensions return, so can old feelings. For many families, distance can feel painful. But in some situations, distance becomes protection, not punishment, not rejection. Simply a way to preserve peace when emotions remain unresolved. And for those living under constant scrutiny, that kind of protection may matter more than ever. Prince William has spent much of his life carrying expectations few people could fully understand. From childhood, he lived in the public eye, balancing grief, duty, and the weight of a future role that was never optional. Over the years, many believed one constant source of strength would always remain. Beside him, his younger brother, Prince Harry. The two princes were once seen as inseparable. They shared experiences unlike anyone else could understand. They walked through public sorrow together, navigated life under intense attention, and appeared to offer each other a rare sense of stability. To many, their bond seemed unbreakable, but families can change in ways outsiders never fully see. As the years passed, differences in personality, priorities, and choices appeared to grow. Public interviews, personal revelations, and separate paths added visible distance to what had once looked close. What the public discussed as royal drama may, at its core, have been something more familiar. Two brothers struggling to understand each other after years of pressure. That kind of pain often runs deeper than arguments. It touches identity, trust, memory, and the feeling of whether someone still knows who you are. For Prince William, those tensions arrived while his responsibilities only increased. As heir to the throne, every season of his life seems to bring more duty, more expectation, and less room for personal difficulty. And now, according to reports, Princess Kate is especially aware of that emotional burden. Those who follow the royal family often focus on her public role, her appearances, her grace, her ability to steady institutions during uncertain moments. But within the family itself, her most meaningful role may be quieter. She is said to be someone Prince William leans on during periods of stress, a partner who understands when silence says more than words, someone who knows that not every challenge can be solved publicly. In many marriages, support is not dramatic. It is steady. To understand why Prince Harry's possible return to the United Kingdom carries such emotional weight, it helps to remember what these two brothers once represented to the public. For many years, Prince William and Prince Harry were seen not simply as members of the royal family, but as a pair shaped by extraordinary circumstances. They grew up in full public view, carrying responsibilities from a young age, while also enduring a loss that touched millions around the world. That shared grief, and the life that followed it, seemed to create a bond few others could truly understand. As they grew older, that closeness became part of their public identity. They appeared together at ceremonies, charitable events, and major national moments. Many people saw them as modern symbols of unity. Within the monarchy, brothers who had faced hardship together and emerged stronger because of it. But family relationships are rarely as simple as they appear from the outside. Over recent years, visible distance began to replace that earlier image of closeness. Differences in direction, private tensions, and changing roles became increasingly public. Interviews, personal statements, and later memoir revelations added new layers to a story that had once seemed straightforward. What may have begun as private disagreements gradually unfolded on a global stage. That public element matters. Most families experience conflict in private, with room to speak, step back, and heal away from judgment. But for the royal family, personal strain often becomes international discussion. Every silence is analyzed. Every appearance is interpreted. Every absence invites speculation. For Prince William and Prince Harry, this meant that a deeply personal rift became something much larger than the two people at its center. Prince Harry's decision to step away from senior royal duties marked one of the most significant turning points in recent royal history. His move abroad and the creation of a new life outside the traditional royal structure changed the family dynamic in lasting ways. It was not simply a relocation. It reshaped expectations, responsibilities, and relationships. The monarchy itself was also entering a new chapter. With King Charles beginning his reign, the institution has been navigating transition, continuity, and the pressures of a changing modern world. In such moments, stability often becomes especially important. That is why any return visit by Prince Harry can carry meaning far beyond an ordinary family trip. It may raise hopes of reconciliation for some. For others, it may reopen questions that remain unresolved. And within the family itself, it may bring a mix of affection, caution, memory, and uncertainty all at once. Because reunions are not always simple when history is involved. For viewers watching from afar, it can be tempting to frame the moment as either conflict or healing, but real family relationships rarely fit such clear categories. At the center of recent reports is a quiet but significant claim. Princess Kate is said to be considering a temporary step away from the United Kingdom during the period of Prince Harry's expected visit. If true, the reasoning appears deeply personal rather than strategic. According to those reports, her concern is not centered on headlines, public image, or royal positioning. Instead, it is said to be about the emotional strain ongoing tensions may place on Prince William. For years, public attention surrounding the relationship between the two brothers has remained intense. Even routine visits can generate widespread speculation, commentary, and renewed focus on past divisions. In that environment, every movement can feel magnified. From that perspective, stepping away would not necessarily be an act of avoidance. It could be understood as an attempt to create breathing room. Sometimes distance is chosen not to deepen separation, but to reduce pressure when emotions are already complicated. It can offer space for reflection, privacy, and calm at a moment when outside attention threatens to overwhelm everything else. Reports suggest Princess Kate may see that space as valuable for Prince William, rather than placing him at the center of another highly scrutinized family moment. A temporary change of setting could allow him to focus on routine, family life, and emotional steadiness away from constant discussion. That interpretation presents Kate not as a political figure managing palace dynamics, but as a supportive partner trying to protect someone she loves from unnecessary stress. In many families, support often looks like this. It is not dramatic speeches or public gestures. It is noticing when someone is carrying too much. It is understanding which situations may reopen old wounds. It is choosing peace when others expect confrontation. The reported plan also reflects an awareness of how quickly tensions can intensify when private family matters unfold under public attention. A single visit can lead to days of headlines. Silence can become a story. A meeting can become symbolism. And a personal matter can suddenly feel like a national event. For someone already carrying significant responsibility, that atmosphere can be exhausting. Seen through that lens, the reported decision is less about leaving a place and more about protecting well-being. It is about reducing emotional noise. It is about choosing stability over reaction. Behind the ceremony, tradition, and carefully managed public appearances, there is still a human reality that cannot be ignored. Prince William is not only a senior royal figure. He is also a son, a husband, a father, and the future king. Those roles carry very different kinds of weight. One is constitutional and visible. The others are personal, emotional, and often carried in silence. To the public, duty may look orderly. Schedules are followed, speeches are delivered, appearances are made. But private pain does not disappear simply because responsibility continues. That is what makes family conflict especially difficult. When tension exists between siblings, it can touch some of the oldest and deepest parts of a person's life. Shared memories, childhood experiences, loyalty, grief, rivalry, love, all of it can remain present even during periods of distance. When healing does not come easily, the emotional burden can last for years. For Prince William, that burden is not lived privately in the way most people experience it. When stories like this reach the public, attention often turns toward conflict. People ask who is right, who is wrong, who should speak first, or who should make the next move. But some of the most important moments in family life are quieter than that. Sometimes protecting someone does not mean urging them into confrontation. It means recognizing when they are already carrying enough. It means encouraging rest instead of reaction, calm instead of escalation, space instead of another emotional battle. That may be the deeper meaning many see in Princess Kate's reported role during this period. If the reports are accurate, her influence appears less about royal strategy and more about emotional steadiness, not controlling events, but helping create conditions where pressure does not become damage. This kind of influence is often overlooked because it is not dramatic. It happens in private conversations. It appears in timing, patience, and gentle advice. It is found in knowing when someone needs support more than solutions. Prince Harry's possible return to the United Kingdom may be seen by many as another royal moment, another chapter in a story the world has followed for years. But beneath the headlines, it may mean something far more personal. A return can reopen old wounds. It can stir memories, revive unanswered questions, and bring emotions back to the surface that time alone did not fully resolve. Yet it can also serve as a reminder that some relationships, no matter how strained, are never entirely closed. There are bonds that remain unfinished. That is what gives this moment its emotional weight. Reports surrounding Princess Kate's response suggest a balance of care and caution, a desire not to inflame tension, but to preserve stability for the people closest to her. In many ways, that instinct reflects quiet wisdom. Not every difficult moment needs a dramatic answer. Sometimes care looks like patience,